Tangella too. And our host, Vincent Landau, and he brings it to you! Creature features, and all creatures, and all creatures! And the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. 'Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Don't get you tonight.
If you grew up in the 1960s or the 70s, or if you enjoy taking in nostalgic television programs on stations like MeTV, you're likely quite familiar with the long-running sitcom My Three Sons. Helmed by the timeless Fred McMurray, it revolves around the tale of a widower who contends with trying to raise three sons on his own. This is, of course, long before Mike Brady ever found himself in a similar predicament. Assisted by Uncle Charlie, this household of five men made for some interesting plot twists. But when the ratings for this popular program began to flounder, the producers brought in a secret weapon. And that lovely savior of this classic show will be joining us tonight. Welcome to Creature Features, the tall chap to this side who once obtained a master's degree in metallurgy simply because he wanted to become more adept at seasoning his cast iron skillets, is my loyal butler, Mr. Livingston. The pernicious pretty on my port side, who's allegedly wanted for questioning regarding a recent spate of train derailments, would be my temperamentally tiny tenant, Tangella. And I, of course, am your host, Vincent.
You could use a degree in higher learning yourself.
I'll have you know that I have a degree in metal. However, mine was obtained from the School of Hard Rocks. Onward. As hinted prior, we'll be joined by the beautiful and talented actress Tina Cole. She not only portrayed Katie on My Three Sons, but was also involved in numerous other productions over the course of a fantastic career. She even is a well-known singing talent. No, I don't think Chip will be joining her tonight, but I do believe he'll be paying us a visit in the not-so-distant future. And it wouldn't be Creature Features if we didn't feature a feature about creatures, and that's just what we have on the serving platter tonight, for we'll be watching 1953's Phantom from Space. It's somewhat rather silly, but if you like spaceman movies, you'll love it. So don't go away, because it's going to be another night of space invasion fright right here on Creature Features. Stay tuned.
Portions of this program are sponsored by DoorTech, distributor of quality commercial doors nationwide.
Welcome to Creature Features. It's your favorite time of the week. Actually, it's not their favorite time of the week. It's my favorite time of the week. But yeah, so for some of them,
they don't count.
They count.
Oh, they do.
Count. Yes,
okay.
They count the number of viewers we have on YouTube, and it's
well.
It's
then they definitely count.
Right. We're with Tina Cole. Now you know Tina Cole. You know why? Because you used to watch My Three Sons. I used to watch it.
Did you?
No, it wasn't
That's
official.
so
We had to wait in the UK. Because, things came late.
But I did have a wonderful voice, a wonderful
Oh, we're going to talk
English.
about that. No,
okay.
We're going to talk about your singing career. That preceded your acting career, right?
No, actually.
You were an actress
I was
before.
an actress before.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
All right. Anyways,
all kinds
we
of
are with
things.
Tina Cole. She came and joined us tonight. How was the drive up?
Scary. I thought, the birds were going to come any minute. In
Well,
fact,
they do.
Yeah, my car is covered. Do you have a car wash here
No,
in
we've
the
got Livingston.
mansion?
Livingston has a special mop.
Oh, good, because there's a lot of bird poop
But
on that
it
car.
could be guano.
Yes?
Yeah. Bat. Bat bird poop.
Oh, yes.
It's like grey, it's not white.
I've dissected bats.
You've dissected bats.
I did.
We're going to talk about this during the break.
yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna talk with Tina Cole. We're going to watch Phantom from Space. You've seen this one?
I did see it. I watched
Phantom
it, except
from
I didn't
Space.
see the ending.
Well,
I need
I
to
hope
know the
not.
ending.
No, we don't want you to do any spoilers.
No, I won't.
because
I can't.
The people at home, they watch this is like the first time for many. And then for many others, it's not the first time. So, anyways, we're going to have fun, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's start the film. And when
Okay.
we come back, we're going to hear all about Tina Cole's career and My Three Sons. You stay with us.
This is Washington, D.C., and in the files of the Central Bureau, there is a story so strange in its implications that it defies ordinary classification. It is the story of a handful of people who, in the course of one desperate night, held back a wave of panic and pandemonium. It began after sundown, time 7:15. As Flight A Coast Patrol from Travis Field was returning to base. When the nightly Air Force transport pointed north toward Japan via the Great Circle route. While at sea, the Navy and Coast Guard maintained their usual round-the-clock vigil. And from the equator to the Arctic, the radar network swept the skies with eyes that never sleep. Time 7:19. An unidentified object was picked up 200 miles southwest of Point Barrow, Alaska. 7:27. Unidentified object confirmed at Fairbanks, Alaska. Heading south-southeast, 170 degrees. Height, 75,000 feet. Estimated speed, 5,000 miles per hour. White warning. 7:39. Unidentified object 200 miles due west of Vancouver, British Columbia. Course 170 degrees. Height 60,000 feet. Estimated speed down to 3,600 miles per hour. Yellow warning. 7:54. First interceptor flight airborne. Point of interception, 80 miles due west of San Francisco, California. 7:55. Unidentified object past point of interception. Red warning. 8:11. Morro Bay, California. Height 50,000 feet. Estimated speed 2,000 miles per hour. 8:15. Santa Monica, California. Height 10,000 feet. Speed 1,200 miles per hour. 8:18. All traces of unidentified object gone. Red warning lifted. By 8:25 at the Los Angeles branch of the Communications Commission, reports of strong interference with radio and television reception began to pour in from the beach area. The monitors went to work immediately. Mobile units were ordered to converge on the vicinity of the disturbance. Pinpoint direction finding devices began to trace the trouble to its source.
This is Mobile 1, Hazen speaking. We're at Ocean and Beacon Way, interference strength 2, bearing 27 degrees. Over.
Mobile 1 from center. Roger. Over. Mobile Center from Mobile 7, over.
Go ahead, Mobile 7.
This is Mobile 7. With Pacific Center and Beach 4. Interference strength 3, bearing 39 degrees, over.
This is Mobile Center, roger. Stand by. Mobile 1 and Mobile 7. From Mobile Center, point of interception estimated 3 miles north of surf. Repeat, 3 miles north of surf. Acknowledge.
This is Mobile 7, roger.
Mobile 1, roger.
Mobile 7, roger, we're going out.
Okay, Charlie, let's get moving. Yes, what is it?
Take me to a phone quick. I need an ambulance.
What's the matter?
My husband and Pete out there in the picnic grounds just above the beach. They've been hurt.
Well, this is the communications car. I'll phone it in from here. I'm Mobile 1 to Central, over. Did you make that out, Charlie?
Not a word.
I'm Mobile 1 to Central. I can't reach you. Repeat. They must be getting us all right. I'm Mobile 1 to Central. Have an ambulance sent to beach at surf. Emergency. 2 men hurt. Acknowledge. Roger and out. I'm sure they'll be here soon now. Tell us what happened.
Oh, this man, he just kept coming at us. It was awful.
Who?
I don't know. He was wearing a suit like a diver. Hurry, please. They're hurt.
Charlie, you better wait here. I'll go down and take a look.
The young woman's hysteria became obvious as they reached the picnic grounds at the beach. There was no sign of the mysterious intruder, and little could be done for her husband and their friend until the ambulance arrived.
Hi, fellas. How are you doing?
Oh, we're just taking another reading now. What happened down there?
The police took the girl and one of the guys to the station.
What about the other one?
Well, he's on the way to the morgue. That was her husband.
You're right on the button, Charlie, 44.7.
Report back to Central if you find anything else. All right. Charlie, grab that portable and check the beach, will you?
Got it right here.
I'll pick you up right here in about an hour. Where are you going? Police asked me to drop by the station and sign a report. I'll see you later.
If you don't, you know where to look for the body.
Like I said, we were just starting to eat when we heard something tracking through the sand toward us. I looked up and couldn't see anything. Then Betty screamed.
At what? I thought you couldn't see anything.
At first we couldn't. Then this guy started toward us.
What kind of a guy?
How should I know? He was wearing some kind of a helmet over his head. He could have been a deep-sea diver or anything.
All right. After you saw this diver, what happened?
Well, we jumped up. Ed, that was Betty's husband, yelled at him to stop, but he just kept coming. I never saw anything like it. He didn't say anything. He just kept moving in.
Then you say he attacked you.
We didn't give him a chance. Ed grabbed a piece of wood and took a swing at him. That didn't stop him. He caught the end. That's all I remember.
Just because a man's taking a walk is no reason to slug him. Besides, you don't look like a guy who frightens so easy.
How would you feel if somebody with a crazy helmet with pipes sticking out of it came at you in the dark? And look, I know this sounds crazy, but there wasn't any head in that helmet.
No head. No head at all.
It's the truth.
I think you need some coffee.
I don't want anything.
It's all the same to you, Lieutenant. I've got to pick up one of my men at the beach.
Okay, thanks for coming down, Hazen. Hope I didn't put you out.
No trouble. So long. You too.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Micromat, making products that keep your Macintosh running at its best.
Welcome back to Creature Features. We're going to get back to Phantom from Space shortly, but first we're going to talk to Tina Cole because she's our special guest.
Thank you.
You were on My Three Sons.
I was.
But you've done lots of stuff besides that.
Before that, I was on Hawaiian Eye.
What is Hawaiian Eye?
Hawaiian Eye was the first show ever shot in Hawaii. It was before Magnum and Hawaii Five-0.
Oh my goodness.
And I was 14 years old. Rock and roll had just started. Right. It was a big thing.
Right.
And Warner Brothers had a lot of series on at the time. The producer of Bourbon Street Beat had written a rock and roll song, but didn't know how to arrange it.
Right.
My uncle, Jim Conkling, started Warner Brothers Reprise. So he was president of Warner Brothers Reprise. And so the producer gave it to him and said, can you arrange this? I want to use it on my show. And he said, well, I've got some teenagers at home. Let me give it to them. So he gave it to 4 of us, 2 boys and 2 girls, my cousins. And we did an arrangement. We sang it. We did a dance.
Oh, my goodness.
And we went to Warner Brothers, to William T. Orr, who was Jack Warner's son-in-law, head of Warner's, and Hugh Benson and Jim Phillips and the producer, and we sang and danced. And as we were leaving, they said, would you wait? And I said, oh, okay. I was 14 years old. And they said, come back in. And by this time, there were like 10 men in the office. And stand up, sit down, put your hair up, put your hair down, smile, profile.
Oh my goodness, you're being auditioned?
Walk around. And they said, go out and wait. And they brought me back and said, we'd like to screen test you. I didn't even know what that was.
So you were just supposed to add something to the music.
Yeah, we just did the song and showed them what it could be like, which he ended up doing on the show.
Oh my goodness.
And 2 days later, I was on, they called my mother to ask if I could do it.
Of course.
And 2 days later, I was on the set with, he was very famous, Solly Biano. I think he discovered Lana Turner and, Doris Day and people like that.
Right.
And he did an interview with me. And there was this very tall, lanky man in jeans and a flannel shirt and a scruff and wire rim glasses before John Lennon made them popular. And he was standing next to the camera with Solly. And all of a sudden he said, Tina, and this man started walking in. He said, I'd like you to meet Gary Cooper.
The Gary Cooper.
The Gary Cooper. I was so young, I didn't know who he was. He was an old man.
Right.
I mean, to me, oh, hello, Mr. Cooper. It's so nice to meet you. I didn't, faint or swoon. And they were going duck hunting afterwards, which is why he looked like that. But they liked me. And they asked me if I would study every summer for a month at their workshops for the contract players. And when I was 19, I got a call, and they said, Connie Stevens has been put on suspension. Suspension, because contract players, you couldn't work. You couldn't do anything if you were a contract player, except for that studio.
Right.
I don't know if this is true, so Connie, please forgive me if this is not. This is what I was told, that they were going to do My Fair Lady, and that she had come in and said, I want to be Eliza Doolittle. And they said, well, we're talking to Julie Andrews and, Audrey Hepburn, and no. And she said, well, then I won't do cricket. And they said, okay. And they called me, and I had to do a screen test with Troy Donahue, who had just done Parish and Summer Place, and, he was gorgeous. And I had to do a romantic scene with him, was my screen test. And 3 weeks later, I was in Hawaii with Bob Conrad, Troy Donahue, Ponce Ponce.
So you went from 0 to 100 in a matter of days.
3 weeks.
That was incredible.
It was amazing.
It was just like a fantasy Hollywood discovery
And I
story.
had to sing, because Connie sang in the Shell Bar.
Right.
She was the entertainer. So I had to sing. I'd never sung outside of fun with my family.
Right.
Which we'll get into later.
We will. I want to hear everything about it. All right, we got to get back to this film, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the big one, My Three Sons. All right, you guys stay with us. We'll be right back soon. Don't go away.
All right, let's start at the beginning. How well did you know the dead man and his wife?
Betty and I went to school together. I knew Ed a year.
How long were they married?
About a year.
Wasn't her husband a little older than she?
I don't know.
But you said you and Mrs. Evans went to school together.
And you never discussed anything personal with her?
She did mention he was older, yes.
How much?
15, 20 years. What difference does that make?
That wasn't too hard now, was it? Where do you live?
629 and a half East Palm Court. Why?
That's where the Evans live, isn't it?
Yeah, I board with them.
You do, huh? Now, Mrs. Evans is a good-looking woman.
What are you trying to say?
Lieutenant Bowers. Where? Yeah, I got it. I'll leave right away.
Keep it on a murder. Near the beach. Keep an eye on this guy until I get back.
What are you?
You'll stay right where you are. At least until Mrs. Evans feels well enough to talk.
What do you want from her?
Oh, I just want to see if your story checks with hers. After all, you went to school together, remember?
You say there were no witnesses, huh?
None yet.
Anything missing?
I don't think so. The cash register wasn't touched.
Get a breakdown of the inventory as soon as you can. What about fingerprints?
The boys are working on them now.
Sorry I'm late.
What kept you so long?
The lieutenant asked me to hang around a while.
Well, what's the score?
Looks like one of those things. Pretty girl, older husband, young boarder. Kid claims some guy without a head knocked the old man off.
You don't say. Anything else?
Yeah, he had a diver's outfit with horns.
No. He's going to have to do better than that.
How are we doing?
I took a reading about 10 minutes ago. The radiation is going out with the tide. What about the radio phone?
It's working fine again. I just got a call from Central. They said Mobile 7 picked up some new trouble northeast of here.
Here we go again.
Hop in.
Who reported this murder?
There he is there. He lives next door. His name's George Nelson.
Hey, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Come here, will you? I'm Lieutenant Bowers, homicide. You found this body?
That's right. He must have just locked up for the night when this happened.
How do you know that?
Well, he usually does around this time.
What were you doing here?
I was sitting home watching the fights on TV, and all of a sudden the thing started acting up.
What has that got to do with it?
Well, you don't know the set. You know, it wouldn't work at all when I came home to supper. Then all of a sudden it cleared up fine. So I thought, well, I'll get set to look at the fights again, and all of a sudden out it goes again. So I thought maybe the battery station down here was overcharged in the circuit, and so I came down to take a look, that's all.
Hey, don't you ever quit work? What's up this time?
Another murder? What are you doing here, Hazen?
Same as before. Still trying to track down that signal interference.
Hey, does that stuff work on TV, too?
Well, it has been for hours.
What'd I tell you?
What's the matter?
Seems to set one on the blink.
Well, at least we know we're on the right track. How'd you make out with that boarder?
He's still sticking to his story. The guy had no head.
Well, I'll be seeing you. So long.
Right.
Watch out.
Hey.
And so the communications team resumed its mission to track the mysterious interference to its source. Via accurate readings taken at regular intervals by stationary and mobile units, it was determined that the disturbance was moving in a northeasterly direction. By 10:34, Mobile Center had pinpointed the disturbance at the edge of the Huntington oil fields. Units 1 and 7 were instructed to close in.
Hey, Charlie, do you see what I see? Yeah, the oil field.
Let's hope our trouble's burning up.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Look, Sarge.
2 murders and an explosion in one precinct is big news. Now, come on, you can't pin it all on the young boarder. Or can you?
Very funny. Yeah?
I'm Hazen of the Communications Commission.
Oh, the lieutenant's waiting for you.
Thank you.
What's a wheel?
You heard the man, Communications Commission.
Tell me, does this kind of interference happen very often?
Never anything like this. It's on the move all the time.
We need some hand with a transmitter in the car.
It's not a transmitter. We don't get a definite disturbance, just interference.
And you have no idea of what it is, huh?
Not yet. How are you making out?
Not so good. You were here when I questioned that boy about the murder at the beach.
Did you get anything more out of it?
Yeah. Come on with me. You might want to see this. Ah, I see you're just about done. Thanks, you can go now. Are you sure this is what the man looks like?
What do you say, Betty?
Well, just about, only I think the tubes were a little lower down.
And you still insist there was no head inside the helmet?
I'm positive there wasn't.
What about you?
Well, it was dark. I couldn't swear to it.
Thanks, that'll be all.
You mean we can go now?
Yeah, for the time being. Just stick close to home. I may want to see you again tomorrow.
We'll be there. Come on, Betty. Kind of changed your mind about those two, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess I have. Hey, look, bring in the old man, will you?
Don't tell me you believe this story about this whatever it is.
I know, it sounds as phony as it ever did. But, oh, sit down, will you, please? You're the, watchman at the Huntington oil fields?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been with the company for over 22 years, sir.
Yeah. Will you tell Mr. Hazen here exactly what happened?
Well, sir, like I said before, I was just closing the gate for the night when I saw this fella coming up. I was never so scared in my life.
Yes, go on.
Well, it wasn't the man so much as the suit he was wearing. Well, he wouldn't stop when I hollered at him. He just pushed his way right in there through the gate and walked right up to the tank.
Now, you carry a gun? Did you try to stop him?
Oh, well, he was much too close to the tank. I was afraid to shoot. So I thought I might call for help. And just as I got to the shack, the tank blew up. Oh, you should see this sight.
Yeah, sir, can you give us a description of this man? How would you say he was dressed?
Well, sir, like I said before, he wore a sort of pliers, not outfit, with a helmet attached to it.
How tall was he?
Oh, he was a giant of a man. And he had tubes sticking out of that thing, that helmet he wore.
Can you tell us what his face looked like?
Well, sir, though he got pretty close to me, I could swear the man had no face.
Now, if you saw this man again, would you recognize him? I mean by his outfit.
Oh, I'll never forget that sight if I live to be 100, sir.
Would you say this is the man?
Wait, sure, that's him.
Thank you very much. You may go now.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Well, Hazen, what do you say now?
Beats me. The descriptions check all right. This could be some kind of flying suit. High altitude equipment.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. Well, how do you explain that stuff about the missing head?
No, we can discount that. These people were frightened. It's night. Nobody really took a close look at it.
I guess you're right. But whoever he is, that outfit doesn't look like one of ours.
Of course, he could have been dropped by parachute.
You mean sabotage?
I think we better wire a report to Washington, see what they say.
You can use our teletype. I'll tip off the LA police to be on the lookout for something unusual.
Hey, wait a minute. What about the press?
Oh, I don't think they know too much now. We better keep it that way for a while at least, till we find out whether our friend is still around here.
Well, if he is, I think we can find him for you. My hunch is that he's carrying something around that's causing all this disturbance, whether he knows it or not.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned. portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
So, Phantoms from Space. You like Phantoms from Space?
I've never met any.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Tina stepped away for a moment so that Tangela could sit in and do mail with us because we have all these packages that came in for us, from you. Why? These are gifts.
I know, but you feel obligated then.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, we've got to open and read and enjoy mail. All right, what do you got for me, Mr. Livingston?
Belmont, California.
Belmont, California. How are you today?
I'm quite well, despite everything.
Despite what?
World affairs, you know.
Well, you know, I told you not to read the news, not to look at the news.
It's a habit.
Go to YouTube and watch videos on cute animals. She taught me this, and it's improved my outlook on life.
Has it?
It has. My goodness, what is this packaging technique? You did inspect this package first, right?
Well, I wanted to make sure there wasn't a bomb in it or something.
Well, nobody would send us a bomb. Oh, it's a photo. Look at this. This is lovely. All right, so it's a photo of us in a frame, and we're identified in case we did not know who was who. Did you see this?
Oh, and they got it
right. Did
right.
you know that the one on this side is you? Because there's a label. All right, well, we're going to put this right here. And who's this from? Was there a letter? One would hope. Yes, a letter. All right, that's the rest of the packaging. All right, let's see what we got here. Somebody with photographic techniques, I imagine.
Indeed.
All right, this is from Richie T. from South San Francisco. He goes, "Hello, Livingston, Vincent, and the beautiful but scary Tangela." She is beautifully scary, is she not? I hope you'll like the picture I sent you guys. I must say I love watching you as I grew up in the Bay Area. My whole life watched when Bob Wilkins on Creature Features and also when he played Captain Cosmic on Channel 2 after school. It was a kid show, great times. Short story about watching Creature Feature. I remember being 10 years old and so scared I watched Night of the Living Dead. That happened to all of us, Richie. So scared, under a blanket, peeking out the whole time to watch. That movie to this day freaks me out. And another time I stayed up late until midnight, and I couldn't wait to watch Godzilla vs. Bambi. We've shown that one too, because Bob showed it. We have to show that. It's like tradition. Those two films are Bob Wilkins' signature films. I will leave it at that. Thanks for the corny but classic horror movies. Rich T., born and raised in South San Francisco. Well, thank you for the nice photo, Rich. We will place that in a place of honor. Next up, Mr. Livingston. A cardboard...
Westlake, California.
Westlake Village.
Westlake
I
Village.
believe that's down by Los Angeles. I could be wrong. I don't think so. Oh, all right. I remember you guys telling me about this one. All right. James Hall, Westlake Village, California. Hello, everyone. I love the show, and I watched it for years while I lived in Alameda. We just moved down near L.A., see, I told you.
Huh?
And I was thrilled to find that you have a YouTube channel, so I don't have to miss an episode. Well, not only do you not miss an episode, but you could see all those crazy people who chat during our broadcast. They're wonderfully crazy people, but they're still crazy.
I believe they're called fans.
No, they're not fans. They're like colleagues.
Colleagues.
They're colleagues to the show. I have been relying on your show to keep me sane during the pandemic. What, is the Spanish flu back?
I'll explain it to you tomorrow.
And wanted to say thank you. I carved a pumpkin of Vince a year. Oh, I remember this. I love that pumpkin. But it's not late enough in the year to carve another. So I made you all a painting instead. You have to see this. This is one of, we had this scanned so we could put it up close.
Oh.
Look at this beautiful portrait he created. Do you see this? He even put you in it. Of course he had to put her in it. Great work, though. This man's a true artist. And let's see, he finishes by saying, Keep up the great work, James. Well, thank you so much, James, and we're gonna put this up on our website if you don't mind, because you have skills that I certainly do not have. All right, what do we got next, Mr. Livingston?
We have a...
You know, I'm going to let you do this because I'm going to ruin it.
We have a box with a letter.
Box with a letter and a card? Oh, this is a big one. Should we have...
It's a heavy one.
Oh, it's heavy?
Yes.
You need to start working out more.
Yeah.
It's like...
Thank you.
Open this, Tangella. Show us what it is, and I shall read the card. All right. Oh, it's a beautiful card, no less. Look at this card. This looks like something that would be up in your room. Purple, sparkly moon. All right. This is from Mike and Elsie Lee. Let's see. Is there an address on the box? I want to know where they're from.
Antioch.
Antioch. That's
California.
close by. Oh, they said in the letter. Sorry for making you look. All right. To the host of Creature Features, my husband and I watch your show. We are longtime fans. We live in Antioch, California. My husband's name is Mike, and I'm Elsie. Hello, Mike and Elsie. I thought it would be nice to bake your crew some chocolate-covered sugar cookie bats. Show me these. Oh, my God, those look delicious.
There's about 100 of them in there.
You know, you need to give me 2 and then hide them. No. Oh, my goodness. This is like... We're going to feed the entire crew tonight. You'll see. I thought it would be nice to bake your crew some chocolate-covered sugar bats. Enjoy the sweets. Keep playing those scary movies, your loyal fans, Mike and Elsie Lee. Well, thank you so much. That is wonderful. Look at all that wonderful. My goodness.
They were
are these chocolate chip?
They were quite busy.
Are these chocolate chip? You know,
I
those
believe
are my
so.
favorites. These are wonderful. You know, we've got to put those out on a nice dish. Like, you know,
Certainly.
the nice silver serving platter. Not the cheap one that you put out for the bad guests, the ones for the good guests.
Indeed.
It's true. All right, I think that's it for letters, right?
That's it.
That is it for letters. If you'd like to send us a letter by email, send it to the address you see appearing down here. If you'd like to send us a batch of cookies, a smaller batch if you would, send it to this address you see here. We'll be right back with Miss Tina Cole, but first let's get to Phantom from Space.
Yeah. Kill that page 1 lead. They let the boarder and the girl go. How do I know? Maybe the lieutenant thinks that the guy in a flying suit knocked off the husband. Nah. No, not a chance. Not a chance of an exclusive on that picture. They're making a blanket release in the morning. Oh, there's a guy from the Communications Commission in there now. Yeah, I'll call you back later if there's anything new. Okay.
Come in.
Sorry to interrupt you, Lieutenant.
Yeah, what is it, Jim?
There's a teletype cam for you.
Oh, thanks, Jim. We're waiting for it. That was fast. Well, here's our answer.
Looks like they never sleep in Washington. Says to contact a Major Andrews, care of Dr. Wyatt, director of the Griffith Institute.
Hey, it's kind of late. Maybe I'll give him a call.
While you're at it, I'll go out the car and check in with Central.
Okay.
Well, that's the story up till now. We got in touch with Washington. They told us to contact you here.
Very interesting. What do you think, Doctor?
When I see something like this, I understand why you gentlemen might have thought sabotage was involved.
Lieutenant, are you sure there were no traces of this saboteur, this X-man, found after the explosion in the oil field?
Fire department went over every inch of the area. Didn't come up with a thing.
Well, then there's a strong possibility that he might have perished in the explosion itself.
I doubt that. We're pretty well convinced this man is carrying something that's responsible for all the signal interference. According to the last report I got, there was a definite disturbance about 3 miles east of the oil fields, sometime after the explosion.
Well, then if he's alive, you should be able to keep an accurate check of his whereabouts.
Not that easy. As a matter of fact, we lost contact about 3/4 of an hour ago.
Maybe he realized you were trailing him and got rid of whatever he had that was causing the disturbance.
In that case, there's nothing much my department can do to help you.
I guess it's up to us. Unless you have some suggestions.
Well, let me think out loud for a minute. It might just be that what we've been talking about so far, and this phantom, as we'll call him, ties in with what the doctor and I have been discussing.
That is very possible.
I don't know whether you know it or not, but somewhere around 7:30 this evening, our radar networks picked up an unidentified object off Point Barrow, Alaska. They traced it clear down to Santa Monica before they lost it.
Santa Monica? That's where we first picked up our radio interference.
Yeah, right at the scene of the murder.
Well, then, if all these things tally up, we've got some idea of how our man got here.
You mean that he came in some plane? In that case, somebody would have seen it land and take off again. Or did it crash?
No. No, we don't think it was a plane. No rocket or jet that has been built so far can attain the speeds of 5,000 miles an hour, particularly for such a great distance.
And maybe we're on the wrong track altogether. Couldn't your unidentified object have been a meteor? They travel at a terrific speed.
Yes, fast enough for most of them to burn themselves out the moment they hit the Earth's atmosphere. And did it occur to you that meteors are not very likely to travel horizontally, all the way from the North Pole to California?
If it wasn't a meteor, or a flying missile of some type, how do you figure this phantom ties in?
We're not sure that he does.
I don't care what you say, but it doesn't make sense to me. Anybody trained in sabotage would stay undercover. This guy's walking around in a monkey suit, killing people.
Excuse me, Dr. Wyatt. Is there a Lieutenant Bowers in here?
Oh, yes. What is it, miss?
There's a Mr. Wakeman from the Chronicle here to see you.
Wakeman here? Now, what does he want?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Before you go, Lieutenant, I don't believe you have met my assistant, Barbara Randall.
Well, hello.
Hello.
It's Mrs. Randall, Lieutenant.
I'll be right back.
Barbara, you know the Major.
Of course.
And this is Mr.
Hayden of the Communications Commission.
How do you do?
Well, I see you are working a little later tonight than usual.
Yes, my husband's teaching a late class, and he won't be able to pick me up for a while. Besides, I had some work to do in the lab.
Well, at least you'll have lots of company.
All right. So I shouldn't have come up here. But I gotta get your angle on this Beach murder. And your whole department is shut up.
Look, Wakeman, will you stop bothering me?
There's nothing to say.
If you got an exclusive story from that Evans dame and her boarder, then you know as much as I do.
Yeah, but that still doesn't explain anything about the guy without a head. Come on. Who is it?
Your guess is as good as mine.
You mean you let those two kids go without knowing that? I don't buy it.
Well, I did.
Well, then you must have an awful good reason. I bet you're trying to tie it in with that other murder. All right, Lieutenant. Don't tell me. I'll get my story somehow. Oh, if you want to know how things turn out, read the Chronicle in the morning.
That's right. Now get in touch with Charlie and Mobile One and have him call for me here. Okay, honey.
Won't you come up with anything?
No, we're just briefing Barbara here.
It's just amazing the way you've been able to put these things together.
Don't kid yourself, Mrs. Randall. It seems the press knows as much about it as we do.
Well, let's hope they don't come to the same conclusions. A few lurid headlines, and every fool in the country will be seeing phantoms in spacesuits and men from Mars all over the place.
Yes, I can imagine. And mass hysteria is difficult to check once it gets started.
That's why we've got to move fast.
Well, from the looks of things, I guess it's up to me. I'll be in touch with you as soon as I hear anything. See you.
By 12:30 a.m., the dragnet was in operation. Mobile units patrolled the streets and countryside. They covered an area 35 miles square. Special and sensitive equipment was prepared for action. Everyone on the job was ready to move on the first signal from the Communications Commission. Monitor Corona to Mobile Center, strength 4, brickyard at 160th, moving toward oil fields. Contact your units. Over and out.
Units 1 and 7 from Mobile Center. Units 1 and 7 from Mobile Center. Strength 4, interference at 160th in the oil field. Moving due east. Close in. Repeating, strength 4, interference at 160th in the oil field. Close in.
Portions of Creature Features are brought to you by the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Explore the mystery at winchestermysteryhouse.com.
Welcome back to Creature Features. Are you enjoying this movie? Because I am. And you know what? I think I'll guess Tina Cole is, because every time the UFO shows up, do the sound. She's a Thera woman.
Yep, you
An
hear that
official.
every time.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, Livingston made up that joke, but I thought it was pretty good, so I stole it
Thank
from
you.
him. All right, Tina Cole from My Three Sons, and what was that other Hawaii show you did?
Hawaiian Eye.
Hawaiian Eye. Can I find that on like Netflix or
Well,
Amazon
I don't
or
know,
something
but
like that?
they do show it every now
I'm
and
going
then.
to watch it with a young Robert Conrad.
Yes, and Troy Donahue.
Yeah, he used to do the Duracell
Yes, he did.
battery
Was
ads.
that no? Rayovac? Was it Duracell? Knock this off.
Right, yeah, no.
Was Duracell?
A tough guy.
Yeah.
Tough guy batteries is the best way to go. All right, My Three Sons. How did you get that part?
Well, I was under contract for a year with Warner's, and then I did Lucy shows and I don't know, Adam 12s or Adam something, whatever cop show was on. And the King family started. And so I was working.
And that's the singing group.
The singing, yeah, is
Right.
my family. We were the first real family on television.
The first family of
outside
singing.
Ozzie and Harriet, sorry.
So you preceded the Osmonds.
We did.
Good.
We did. And we had done one season. It was a variety show.
Right.
And I got a call one night. Oh, I had done some My Three Sons, just different characters.
Bit parts.
Just featured parts.
Right.
And I'd done 3. The last one I did, I played a girlfriend of Robbie's, and we took care of some friends' baby while they were going out, and we pretended to be, married.
Right.
And I think they must have watched that show, but I got a call one night from the producer, Ed Hartman, and he said, "We have been looking for an actress to play the wife of Robbie. We've seen 2,000 girls.
2,000?
And you have not been in. Why have you not come in?"
Right.
And I said, "I didn't know. I'm busy working with my family." And they said, "Well, we need to see you. Will you come in tomorrow?" And I said, "Okay." I went in, and usually in interviews, 3 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. And Fred de Cordova, who produced Johnny Carson, was our director at the time. I was with him for like 40 minutes, talking about the character and bringing a woman into an all-male show.
Right.
And the audiences might not like that. You have to be sweet, but not too sweet, feisty, but not bitchy.
Right.
And then I went to the producers, and I was there for another 20 minutes. And then they ushered me into a room, and there was Fred McMurray and his wife, June. And we talked for another 20 minutes. I left with the sides to do the screen test. They'd already tested about 20 girls. I'm waiting at the elevator, and Virginia Martindale, our casting director, came running after me and said, "You didn't sign the contract." And I said, "What? What contract?" She said, "You got it. We start in a week and a half.
Oh, my
Come back to the office." And
that was that.
That was that, yeah. In a week and a half, I was doing King Family and My Three Sons.
And you were how old?
I was 20 by then.
20.
I know.
I hadn't done anything by the time I was 20, and you'd already been on 3 TV shows. All right, this is a big topic. We're going to cover that in the next segment. We got to get back to the film.
I know what's going to happen.
I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Caught?
You've seen this film. I have not.
I don't know.
Actually, I have seen this film. I don't know. I don't remember. I watched too many films. All right, off we go. Back to Phantom from Space with that sound.
Just got here, trying to set this up. What gives, Hazen?
It's in this area, all right.
I brought the Geiger counter.
Thank you, Doctor.
Why don't walk over those oil fields?
Well, it doesn't register as far as the oil field.
I think we'll do better if we split up.
Right, Lieutenant. You two go that way. Lieutenant, out here.
Vince?
Joe, you follow him. Come on, Doctor. And you? Oh, forget it.
Look at this. Yeah, points this way. Hey, Joe! Joe!
Hazen! Hey, Hazen! 603!
Going strong.
That's it, Doctor.
It's leading this way. Come on.
This way. Come on. Come on.
Going strong.
Good.
That's right. Checks with me.
Sure does. He's here. We saw him.
There he goes.
Come on!
Vince. Gotta be around here somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta get on the roof.
Vince, go get a ladder.
Look out!
Let's cut him off!
Come on.
Around here.
Anybody see him?
There he is.
Got it now. We'll give you 10 seconds to come out of there, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We're going in. Help you guys cover the door. Come on.
There's nobody in here.
Possible. We saw him come in.
Maybe he went out of the window.
We won't get very far. Don't touch anything till we check for fingerprints.
Oh, Doctor, over here. He left his suit and his helmet.
Hey, let's spread that thing out so I can get a good shot of it.
Keep away, you fool.
What's the matter?
For your information, that's a Geiger counter, and it says hands off.
I think you'd better wait outside.
I just have a job to do.
So do we. And I'm afraid ours will have to come first.
Well, there's no radiation from the helmet.
But look at this.
So that's what's been causing all the trouble. Charlie, you know where we can pick up a lead-lined box in a hurry?
Well, Mobile 7 should have one. They're right outside. I'll take a look.
Hurry it up, will you?
Unbelievable. Now, we all thought that this phantom might be carrying some device which was causing all the signal interference. But to learn that it's due to the very clothes on his body.
That's not the only thing that bothers me. Did any of you get a good look at his face?
Not me. He's too far away.
Well, I did. Unless I'm mistaken, that helmet was empty.
Say, where am I going to put this stuff?
Oh, put it in Dr. Wyatt's station.
Yeah, we take it back to the Institute.
Right.
Find out anything?
No, that's all right. You can handle that.
Any luck?
Not a sign of him. Boys are still searching the grounds.
For what? Nobody knows what he looks like without that outfit.
I'll bet on that, Major. Reporter got a flash picture of him, and I just happened to borrow that film. It's on its way to headquarters right now to be developed.
Good. Send us a print as soon as you can.
Sure.
Lieutenant, are you sure you don't want to come with us? We want to make a few tests at the lab.
I'd like to, Doctor. Would you know the situation? I gotta get that guy. Let me know how you make out, will you?
Yeah, we'll do that, sure.
We were just on our way home and we saw you drive in.
Good evening, Barbara. Hello, Bill. I see we got here just in time.
Anything new?
Lots of excitement, but that's all. Major, you know Barbara's husband?
Oh, of course. How are you?
How are you?
Hey, it's a nice-looking dog you've got there. What's his name?
His name? Venus. Say, Bill, I hate to ask this, but something important has come up, and I wonder, can we borrow Barbara for about an hour or so? I suppose so.
Of course. Darling, why don't you go and do the shopping? Here's the list. The market's open all evening.
I may as well. See you later, Helen.
I'll take the dog and tie her up.
Thank you, Bill. Good night. Good night. I'll give you a hand with it.
Oh, thanks, Doc. Easy now. Look out for your fingers.
All right.
Look out now. Don't drop it.
Venus, come back here! Venus, come back here! Now you stay right here, Venus, and I don't want to hear one sound of it.
Yeah, this is James Schaefer from Denver, Colorado. I really enjoy your program and your cast and your movies. And I was wondering if I could request Night of the Creeps. Once again, thank you for your programming.
Portions of this program are sponsored by DoorTech, distributor of quality commercial doors nationwide.
An invisible alien. You know, imagine how much money they saved on special effects by using that technique. You know, you see they cheat all the time.
Absolutely.
They never did anything like that on My Three Sons now, did they?
Oh, never.
If there was an alien on My Three Sons, we would have seen it.
Absolutely.
Well, it would have been My Favorite Martian.
It would have been my 4 sons.
I love these photos. She brought some photos from My Three Sons. We're going to put up big ones next to my head. But the dog, that's what I remember the most. Now, how many dogs did they use to...
Oh, Tramp had many successors.
Right.
And what they would have to do is take the dog to the beauty parlor and dye the dog's hair to match the original Tramp.
Well, that's kind of what they have to do with me. And except I should be called Tramp. This is wonderful. Now, this bloke...
Bill Demarest.
He's kind of like our Livingston. He never smiles.
Oh, no, Grump. But he was...
But he's a fine cook.
Yes.
Chef.
Yes. He was a gruff old Navy cook.
And Fred McMurray. Yeah, I bet you have stories to tell about him. You know, he used to live around here.
That's right.
He had a
ranch.
big... We're trying to get... who is it? Kate was whom?
Oh.
His daughter?
Yes.
We're trying to get Kate, his daughter. You probably met her.
Of course.
Right.
And Lori, yeah.
Right. No, she won't come on the show because she thinks we're spooky.
I should talk to her.
You should make a phone call.
I will.
Would you like a telephone? No.
Yes.
All right, so this is the triplets.
Yes, those are my babies.
So the first time I'd ever seen a concept of triplets was you and your show.
They had no fertility drugs in those days.
I had no idea that such a monstrosity existed.
When they told me I was going to have triplets, I thought they were crazy.
3 children. I didn't think that was possible. I mean, Tangela has goats and they only have 2 at a time. But you never actually had triplets.
No, I have not. Although I have 4 of my own, but not triplets.
But you did it one at a time.
Yes, much smarter.
The way sane people do. No,
and,
but this
and
happens.
I only had 1 labor pain.
1 labor pain?
With triplets. I went, oh.
Oh, on the show.
The babies. The baby. Oh, I didn't know I was... The baby. Just,
right.
Oh, the baby.
And that was all your dialogue. And then you had a big like rubber thing that you had to wear.
Actually, they always gave pregnant women pillows to make them look pregnant. Well, they wanted me to really look the part, so they made bodysuits for me.
Oh. And
each couple of months, they were padded with lamb's wool and foam rubber to get bigger.
Of course.
Bust and tummy.
Right.
And the last one, I had to go walk for Don Feddersen, our executive producer. And he said, no, that's not. I ended up the next day with fishing weights all inside, these heavy weights so that I would lumber when I'd walk. But
they tortured you.
Were these little suits, and my dressing room was right off of the stage, on the stage. And I had these 3. They looked like little bears hanging. You know, you'd open up the door and there's one that's like this, one that's like this, and one that's like this.
As a reminder of how big you're about to become. All right, well, speaking of big, let's get back to this big film, Phantom from Space. And, you know, I don't know if this is a good film, but it's not a bad film.
No, it isn't.
That's what we show here.
It isn't
good
bad.
films that are not bad, or bad films that are good.
And the men were very well dressed.
That's important.
And very handsome.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, off we go. You guys stay with us. We'll be back soon.
You were right, Doctor. There are no fingerprints anywhere.
What's all this?
Hey, don't touch anything.
You better put some gloves on. Our friend, Mr. X, left this suit at the oil refinery.
You mean you were that close to him and you didn't catch him?
I'm afraid so. That's up to the police now. Hand me those shears. I want to cut off this material to work with it. Say, you better have those sharpened.
But I just bought them.
Well,
Here, try this knife.
Let me try. This stuff is tougher than nylon. Why don't I try it over a Bunsen burner? It doesn't burn either. Let's take a look at it under the microscope.
Look, it's magnetic.
Magnetic?
Here, I'll...
Radioactive. And apparently indestructible.
Thank you.
What's the matter?
You tell me. Take a look at that weave.
What weave? There is none. This material is one solid mass.
May I see it? Well, you're right. It must be some sort of plastic.
No. I'd say it's a metallic substance of some kind.
Well, I've seen a lot of interesting alloys, but never anything like this. Let's try an acid test.
All right.
Go ahead. Careful now. We'll only take a drop or two. It repels acids like a raincoat repels water.
Why, there's no reaction.
Well, Major, this looks as though we were going to be here for a long time. Now we have it. The helmet is not radioactive. The suit is. There is no doubt. This spacesuit is conditioned to function above 63,000 feet. The human blood would boil, resulting in the body expanding to twice its size. And death, of course.
I know. And it must withstand pressure and counterpressure. Also, it must be so supercharged it can function in thin atmosphere.
Now, let's see what it is that is left in this breathing apparatus.
Well, how are you doing?
The gas from the helmet tank breaks down to 11% methane.
Ordinary marsh gas? What's the rest of the formula?
No, that's where I'm stuck. I can't figure it out. It just doesn't respond to any of the usual tests.
Well, how could anyone exist on that combination of gases?
You and I couldn't. But apparently someone can.
Doctor, are you trying to say that our X-Man doesn't breathe oxygen and hasn't the metabolism of a normal human?
I really don't know. From what we've seen, he has some physical characteristics which make him appear human. But added to them is this fabulous radioactivity that none of us could stand. I am puzzled.
I think the answer lies right here in this helmet. Obviously, he needs it to survive. Otherwise, he wouldn't have risked wearing it where he was sure to be recognized. As it is, he only took it off when he was cornered.
Well, if what you say is true, how can he exist without it now?
Let me put it this way. It's like a patient in an iron lung. Sometimes one can be removed for hours at a time without any ill effects.
Exactly. And I think the same principle applies here. And that means sooner or later, he has to get his breathing apparatus back or die.
I don't understand.
Well, I've got an idea. If we were to return this whole outfit to where he left it, he might be tempted to come back for it.
Dr. Wyatt speaking? Yes, he's here.
No, thank you.
Hello, Major. Still at it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, we haven't got a thing, no. The picture?
Yeah, hold on. He says the picture the reporter took of our man didn't come out.
I was afraid of something like that. The radioactivity must have burned the emulsion.
Hello.
No. No, we didn't find any fingerprints at all in his clothes. Did you find any? Oh, too bad.
Hello? Will you wait there, please?
We don't know what to make of this either. Have you heard from the communication boys yet? Well, let's hope they turn up with something.
Major, excuse me.
Hold on a second. Yes?
It's Mr. Wakeman of the Chronicle. He insists upon seeing you.
He does? Where is he?
I told him to wait in the lobby.
Good. Hello? And it's our friend from the press is here. Don't worry, I wouldn't dare let anyone in on anything. At least not till we get something concrete. Right. All right, I'll see you later. Well, I guess I'd better see this newspaper man. Want to come along, Doctor?
I think I will.
Oh, hello. Remember me?
Certainly, yes.
Nice lot of gadgets you got here.
We think so.
What's on your mind?
Well, I was wondering if you might let me take a couple of pictures of that suit you brought up here.
I'm sorry, we can't do that.
Oh. Well, now, look, I got a wonderful picture of the guy running in the shack, and the lieutenant stuck his nose in my business, and what do I get? A blank.
Is that you, Doctor?
Well, you must have some lead on this guy, otherwise you wouldn't have brought that suit up here.
Well, let's just say we were curious.
Hello, Bill.
My back so soon?
Isn't Barbara through? I don't know. She's still in the lab. Why don't you go up and see? Thanks, I will.
Barbara? Barbara, are you in there?
Bill, listen to me. I'm not alone. Someone is in here with me. I can't see him. He locked the door and has the key.
I'll break the door down.
No, Bill, don't, please. You better get help.
You mean I've come all the way up here for nothing?
I'm afraid so. Good night.
Yes. Good night, Mr. Wakeman.
Good night.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Micromat, making products that keep your Macintosh running at its best.
bed. Where's Barbara? In the lab. The door's locked and there's someone in there with her.
I thought you said the door was locked.
It was. She's gone.
Oh, cover the main entrance. That's the only way anybody could leave.
I will.
Well, in that case, we would have seen her on her way up.
Well, then she must still be in the building.
We'd better split up. I'll take the roof.
Barbara! 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 Where are you? Barbara!
Not yet. She must be around here someplace. Now, you stay here. Watch the main entrance. And I'll check the basement. All right.
She's not up there. Where's the doctor?
He went down to the basement. Here he comes. You didn't find her?
No.
I'd better call the police. But there's no telling what could happen to her in the meantime.
No, take it easy. We're doing the best we can.
But she said she was locked in, and she couldn't see who did it. Can you explain that?
No. Not yet.
Don't come near me. I'm warning you, don't come near me. Don't! The code. I don't understand. You're trying to tell me you need it to breathe, and there isn't much left in the tank. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. I'll write it down. One, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
In the lab.
No, please, don't.
She's in there. Barbara!
I can see his head from the open bottom left. The front and I'm sure it's open.
Darling, are you all right?
I'm looking for him. I just saw him, so he must be in here.
Steady feet to the ground. He will be killed. I'd better go.
It was frightening. I couldn't see him. I didn't know what to do.
Come here, quick!
Disintegrating.
This is amazing.
Now, quiet down, Venus. Quiet down. Down.
Mobile Center from Mobile 1, come in, please.
This is Mobile Center. Go ahead.
Get hold of Major Andrews or Dr. Wyatt at the Institute. I want to talk to either one of them.
I will do. Stand by, Mobile 1.
Dr. Wyatt speaking. Oh, yes, Mr. Hazen. Yes, we're still at it. Lots and lots of excitement, but nothing definite yet. Have you anything to say?
The trouble seems to be just about gone. We get a flash in the direction of the observatory once in a while, but I figure that's because of the outfit you're testing.
Yes. Lieutenant Bowers ought to be here any minute. Of course. How long will it take you to get up here? Good. See you then.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned. This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Oh,
Tina
it's gorgeous.
Cole.
It's gorgeous.
No,
Leave
no,
it.
no. I want to go to your hairdresser. I
Oh,
want
thank
I
you.
want hair like hers. Look how perfect it is.
Thank you.
Mine looks like a rat got in and created a home.
I think you did.
A manor. There's a manor, a rodent manor in my head. And everybody says this is not my real hair. It is my real hair. All right, so we have a naked alien running around town.
Yes, we do.
I don't know what to think about this.
Well, I think he's nice. I think he's a good guy. But I don't know because I haven't seen the rest of it. But he's trying
running
to, all he
around
wants
a
to do
town
is
naked.
breathe.
I don't think that's appropriate.
But all he wants to do is breathe.
All right, we would never see naked aliens on My Three Sons now, would we?
Never.
No.
Never.
So I've been
Nor
wanting to ask you.
navels. Nor navels. You know, they didn't show navels in those days either.
But they haven't had naval academies, did they not?
Yes.
Right. Back in those days, they did. All right. I've been meaning to ask you this thing. Did you and Don Grady, is that his name?
Yes.
Did you and Don Grady have like a thing? A real thing?
Eventually, we did.
You did?
We almost married twice.
Almost married each other.
Almost actually got married twice. First time he asked me and I wasn't ready. The second time I asked him and he wasn't ready. But
that's too bad.
when I first did the show, we I did not know this until 2 or 3 years later. He did not want me to play his wife.
Surely you jest.
No, he wanted a surfer girl, kind of long,
Well, you
tall,
look like a
skinny.
surfer girl.
No, I was round and bouncy. And,
No, you were not.
And I wasn't this. Anyway, I did not know. And our first week was all the making out, the getting, smooching on the couch while everything's going on. We didn't know each other. I don't know how they do that. I mean, movies, you probably get to know each other a little bit, but
I mean, you're a thespian.
we didn't. We walk on the set and they say, here,
right.
go for it, on the couch.
Maybe he just
And
needed a breath mint or
we kept
something
bumping
like
noses, and it was awkward. And finally, Fred de Cordova just stopped. He said, cut. He came over and he said, okay, guys, this is not working. You need to go and practice kissing. So we had to go off, in a corner of the set for a half an hour and to learn how to look like we were crazy about each other. And then 2 years later, we actually did fall in love.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so the rest of the series, that wasn't acting.
Now, you know what I liked about that show is how they implied things. Like the one where you come back from the honeymoon. And it's like, well, did you do this and did you do that?
Yeah, no.
No, and it's like he said nothing. And then finally Fred McMurray was like, oh, I know what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
Dad knew everything.
That's amazing. All right, we got to get back to this film. We're going to
Okay.
finish it up, and when we come back, we're going to find out what you're doing next, right?
Yes.
All right, you guys stay with us. Don't go away.
All right.
Please, Tangella's coming back, so you better stick around.
Thank you, gentlemen. Put it down here, please. Barbara, putting that cord in over there. Now you're going to see. I have to resort to ultraviolet light in order to show you what little there is left of the spacesuit. As you can see, it has reduced itself to this liquid, and it is in an evaporating stage. The helmet is in the lab and still intact.
This is amazing. All the radiation in this suit would be fatal to a normal human being wearing it.
Of course. And furthermore, our respiratory system could never simulate gases such as we have found in that breathing device.
Well, then we have to assume our so-called X-Man carried his own atmosphere with him.
Excuse me. But as a matter of curiosity, why do we refer to this thing as a him? I thought it was invisible.
Under normal conditions, yes. Yet, Mrs. Randall did see the imprint of a large foot and a masculine hand under ultraviolet light.
How do you explain that?
I don't know, but the human body is composed of various elements with a carbon base.
Like coal?
Yes. Now, suppose we maintain the same chemical composition in the body of the X-Man, but substitute silica for carbon.
Silica, that's glass.
Exactly. Now, it is possible that the body with such a base, if it were subjected to an atmosphere foreign to its origin, might appear invisible to our eyes.
Are you trying to say, Doctor, that we're not dealing with a human being?
I didn't say that. On the contrary, all the evidence points in the opposite direction. Toward a superhuman with an intelligence far superior to our own.
How can you tell?
First of all, Mrs. Randall saw that he has a hand with digits like our own fingers and a thumb opposing. That alone is a sign of intelligence. And he comes from a civilization that has developed adequate space transportation to enable him to travel to Earth. We have nothing yet that can reach even another planet in our own solar system.
That could account for the unidentified objects picked up by radar a few hours ago.
My theory is that the spaceship, or whatever it was that he came in, operated on the principle of magnetic rather than atomic propulsion, and that somewhere in the outer limits met with a condition where the Earth's gravity pulled it down and it fell into the ocean, and that he managed to save his life and reach
You really can pick up any type of communications interference, no matter how weak the signal may be.
Sure thing. We were on his trail from the minute he left the beach.
I never knew you carried such sensitive instruments in your car.
What you told us is very interesting, Doctor. But I've got to make an official report to headquarters. Are you willing to be quoted that the criminal we're after is a creature from another world?
All I can say is, we know that our Earth is not the only planet capable of sustaining life in one form or another. You can quote that.
All I've got to go by is some footprints in a hand. That isn't much. No fingerprints, no description, no nothing. And we're after a killer.
Has it occurred to you that our X-Man has no apparent motivation for his acts, and might therefore not be an intentional criminal at all?
You have a point there.
Hey, wait a minute. Come to think of it, the young boarder we suspected, he did say that the girl's husband threw the first punch. So?
So that could have been enough to provoke the strange creature. And the same could have happened at the second murder.
Sure. What about the fire in the oil fields?
Evidently, our man sensed the presence of some gases, which he thought might be utilized in his breathing apparatus.
Yeah, that could account for his presence at the oil refineries, where something went wrong, causing the explosion.
Too bad he got wise to us and took off his uniform, or we'd have been able to catch up with him by now.
No, he didn't utter a word. But I'm convinced he was trying to convey a message to me. He kept tapping out a code. I wrote it down.
Let me see that, please. Doesn't make sense.
Well, it may be based on some mathematical system we know nothing about.
But he was trying to tell us something. Why did he run away?
What do you think of that?
Hell, Hazen must be crazy sending out stuff like that.
I guess so. Why don't you try and get a hold of him?
Yeah. Mobile 1 from Mobile Center. Come in, please. Mobile 1 from Mobile Center. Come in, please. Mobile 1 from Mobile Center. Come in, please.
Hey, that's Central calling. You better stay here by the car. I'll go tell Hazen.
Yes, Colonel Powell. Of course, I'll mail you a complete report first thing in the morning. Yes, sir, thank you. Oh, and I'm awfully sorry to disturb you so late at night. Right, good night, sir.
He's around here, this invisible guy. He was in the car.
How do you know?
I was talking to Randall outside when I heard Central calling. Before I could get over to answer, I saw the door open and shut by itself.
He's desperate. For all we know, he could be trying to send a distress signal to his home base, wherever that is.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get through. We've got enough problems with just one of those guys.
Well, at least we know he's around in the vicinity, and it's obvious what keeps him around.
Of course. He's got to come back for what little gas there is left in his helmet.
And when he does...
Oh, please, the most important thing is to take him alive. If we can only make each other understand, there's no telling how much science can profit.
I'll go along with that, Doctor. But I've got to make sure that once he's cornered, I'll be able to hang on to him.
I think we're all agreed on that.
All right, good, then we must see it from his angle. He's in an alien world. No doubt we are as frightening to him as he is to us. Now, the most important thing, then, is to keep calm at all costs and do nothing to provoke him.
Immediately, a simple plan to trap the Phantom went into operation. All obstacles to his entry were removed. To erase any possible suspicion, the doors were left unguarded, and inconspicuous electric eye equipment was set up. All this was connected to a makeshift control board, which would immediately signal the exact location of the trespasser. Now, there was nothing to do but wait. The one road leading to the Institute was blocked off to make certain no outsider would upset the plans or interfere in any way.
What's the big idea?
Sorry, nobody's allowed through here.
Who says so?
Lieutenant Bauer's orders.
Oh, is he up there?
He might be.
Well, you get word to him that Joe Wakeman of the Chronicle is here.
Sorry, Bud, I can't leave.
Oh, what about them over there? Hey, you over there.
Me?
Yeah. Aren't you the guy from the communications outfit? Didn't I see you down at the oil fields a couple hours ago?
What of it?
You got anything to do with this?
Well, you'll have to ask Lieutenant Bowers about that.
How can I if he won't see me?
That's a good question.
Hairstyling for the show is provided by Restoration Hair in Santa Rosa.
Well, it's 4:45.
Sure taking his time.
Time's cheap.
Yeah, but how long can you sit on the edge of your chair like this?
Oh, dear, if we have to. I only hope this mechanism works.
It will, unless he flies in between the wires.
I wouldn't take any bets that he can't.
Well, if everything else fails, we still have Venus here to help us. You know, I'm certain she sensed his presence before. That's why she carried on so.
What's the matter, Lieutenant? Is this thing getting you?
Oh, no. I'm just thinking about public reaction to all this. I'll give something to the press by morning.
You know, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. Then after I got my wings and had 75 missions, I thought I'd seen everything. Now, after all this, I know I haven't seen anything.
He's here.
The back entrance. Let's head him off.
Remember, now, take it easy. Don't crash.
Trying to do? Well, it's the reporter. Yeah, it sure is. What's going on around here? You guys crazy?
How'd you get in here?
Oh, that don't make any difference. Come on, what's up? What's going on?
All right, Lieutenant, you better tell him. I'll reset the wires.
Don't be afraid. We want you to live. Don't you understand? Can't you speak? Can't you say something? anything, in any language? Listen, everybody. He's in the lab with me now. He's in the lab with me now. Venus, be quiet. The door is unlocked. Hurry, he's having trouble breathing. I don't think he can last much longer. And please, don't let Venus get at him. And walk in quietly.
Quiet, Venus.
It's unbelievable.
You see, there's nothing to be afraid of. Nobody wants to hurt you.
I've tried to reason with him. I feel he understands, but he can't speak.
Wait a minute, I'll try his code. I think I remember it right. Better plug in the ultraviolet light. Oh, you scared him. Look, there goes Venus.
Look, Venus!
He must be there.
The door. In here by the big telescope.
Smoke senses something.
Quiet, Venus.
Well, if he's in here, he'll never get out now.
Door was closed. This is what I've been waiting for. Please, Lieutenant. This is our last chance. We have to take him alive.
Plug in the lamps. There's an outlet here.
He must be up there. His whole body's aglow.
If I hadn't seen this with my own eyes.
What do we do now?
Stand back.
Amazing. This code again. Look. He's trying to speak, but no sound is coming out of his mouth.
Look at Venus. She acts as though she hears him.
Yes. Dog can hear sounds that we can. His voice must be beyond the range of the human ear. Maybe he's screaming.
He's suffocating. The glow, it's almost gone.
We won't need these lights anymore. In death, he has become visible as a normal body. Look.
evaporating. So he came here, wherever from, and right before our eyes, his body went through the final phases of life. It's morning.
You know, this whole thing with aliens dying at Griffith Observatory, I'm expecting the Terminator to walk out.
I didn't
Right?
want him to die.
No, you go, your clothes, give them to me. You know? But, the alien dies, of course. Right.
That made me sad.
Did it make you sad?
Yes.
I did not become too attached to that alien. What did you think? She did, she's not into the Saucer Men movie. No, the Flying Saucer films. She likes more blood.
Oh.
Less science,
She
more
doesn't look
blood,
like that.
more corpses.
Mm.
She's got quite a collection.
Really?
Yeah. She's a shovel master. She likes, what is it called, a spade?
Oh.
She uses a spade. She can dig up a grave in
dig
like
them?
15 minutes. That's a lot of dirt. It's a pile of dirt like 7 feet high.
For such a tiny person.
I know. No, she does one. She could pick up 5 times her weight.
Really?
No. When we need to move something, Livingston comes and gets her. It's amazing. All right, Miss Tina Cole,
Yes.
what are you doing next?
Well, what I was doing, and we hope to be doing, King family
Right.
was based on the King sisters, who were big band singers in the
Right.
40s and 50s and 60s. They were one of the first nominees for a Grammy. They sang 4-part jazz, wonderful harmonies,
Right.
beautiful. And my cousin, who was the original Leonardo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, by the way, said, I have done everything on my bucket list, but I want to sing with my family again. All the first generation is all gone. So 5 of us, the cousins, have been working for a year on a tribute to the King sisters.
Nice.
Every note, everything, just like perfect harmony. So next July, 2021,
You're
we
going
will
to be
do a
doing
tribute to our moms, the
How
grand old
wonderful.
ladies of song, the King sisters.
How wonderful. Yeah. That will be great.
And
And,
I've
this will be like one place, one
Yes.
theater, or are you going to tour?
Well, we're going to start with one and see how it goes.
Right.
But I have also started a theater for children, learning acting, music, and image.
And this
so
is what
it's
you
with
do in
manners,
Sacramento.
What
I
I'm
was
doing, I'm starting
reading
it
about
next
that.
week.
How wonderful.
Yeah, learning manners, even how to set a table.
Oh, now that's important.
It is. Look at this.
You need
You
to
can-
know
all your
where the
beautiful
salad
things.
fork goes.
You need to know those
Yeah,
things.
There's a lot to teach
Not in your
people.
eye.
Right. Exactly.
You don't do that.
No, she sticks them in other people's head.
Oh.
And I said, don't use the salad fork as a
No.
weapon. You need to use
No,
like.
it's got to be the spoon.
Oh.
Don't you think?
Right. No.
No?
All right. If you don't like the person, I suppose you could use a spoon. All right, well, you've been an absolute gem as a guest, and we hope to have you again soon. You're going to tell us about your tour. Because I know you're going to have a tour.
I hope so.
So you can come back with the gang and maybe sing and do a number.
Fun.
Right?
All right.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
As far as you guys go, thank you for watching the show again. I hope you're watching it again. If you, first-time viewers, we do this every week, so you have to come back next week because you're going to like it better next time, but maybe they'll like it even less, so maybe I won't say that. All right, just watch it as much as you can. We'll see you next week. So, Tina, you know, with the success of My Three Sons, I'm thinking, you know, there's three of us mainly in this household. What if we made a show called My Three Ghouls?
No.